throw my hat in the ring and see what I could do.
Yeah.
Literally.
So yeah, so you just mentioned you had some time in the WWE, and made your debut in 1988 as Reno Riggins. Tell me about, signing with them and
Yep.
kind of coming up with the character.
Okay. Um, I was I was wrestling at every you know VFW club, every Moose Lodge, every middle school gym. Driving 5 hours one way and just making barely gas money, just trying to get my name out there and trying to get experience. And I had been doing that for roughly maybe a year or so, and was really frustrated because I wasn't making really much money. And I was just I was pushing myself pretty hard. And I look back on it now and I sometimes think, maybe I shouldn't have pushed myself so hard at that point in my career. But I was maybe that was also too the thing that got me there too. So I was me and my dad have a auto paint and body shop here in Nashville, and worked there when I was a kid and coming up. And so I was working with him during the days, and then at night I'm driving to Timbuktu to go wrestle and trying to get the experience and whatnot. But I found out that the WWE, this was back when it was still called WWF.
Hmm.
So WWF's coming to town, and they're going to be at the Municipal Auditorium. And I thought this is a grand opportunity for me to go down there and talk with Vince McMahon about getting a job with his company. I just thought that's how simple it was. So I told my dad, I says, I'm gonna leave a little early today. I'm gonna go home, take a shower, put on my suit, grab my portfolio, and I'm gonna go down there and sweep them off their feet, right?
Hmm.
So I see, so I park and I get there a little early, maybe about 5 o'clock or so, and I see the wrestlers kind of drifting into the back, starting to come in, and
Yeah.
here they come. Here comes Randy Savage, and here comes Andre the Giant. There goes Hulk Hogan. There goes Ultimate Warrior, Ravishing Rick Rude, Dino Bravo. They're just filing in one after one.
Hmm.
So I just grab my stuff and I just go strutting through the back door like I'm one of them, right?
Yeah.
And just out of the blue, some security guy stops me. He
Ooh.
goes, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I got an appointment with Vince McMahon about seeing him about getting a job." And he goes, "No, you don't." he, he he read me so quick,
Oh no.
and he threw me out of the back, right?
Hmm.
And I mean, I didn't even get past the doors. So I go back to my car. I'm dejected. I'm mad. Oh my goodness. And so I'm sitting there, and I mean, I'd started my truck and I was getting ready to
Yeah.
pull out. And I looked over in the passenger seat, and earlier that day at the shop, we'd had a FedEx box delivered to us, and we'd already gotten the contents out. And I just had the empty box laying there, and I thought, wait a minute, if I hold this box this certain way, it looks like it's still sealed. Boom, I grab the box, I jump out of the truck, I run to a different door. I'm over and I'm banging on the back door. Another security guy comes. He goes, "Yeah, can I help you?" I said, "I got a FedEx delivery for Vince. I got to get it to him right now." He goes, "Well, give it to me and I'll give it to him." I go, "No, no, no, no. I got to hand deliver it to him." He said, "All right, well, come on in." So I get in, I ditch the box, and I'm back there amongst all the wrestlers and all the important road agents and stuff. And now I'm trying to talk to somebody about getting a job.
Oh
And
wow.
so this one guy comes up, he goes, he looks at me and he goes, "I don't recognize that guy. He's out of place. Let me go see if I can help him." So he comes over there. He goes, "Hey, can I help you?" And I says, "Yeah, I'm here to talk to Vince McMahon about getting a job." He goes, "Does he know this?" I said, "Sure." I'm just rolling with it, right?
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
figured I'm back here. I've already been thrown out once. That's the
Might as
worst thing.
well try it.
Yeah, let's roll
Go
the
for it.
dice here. Roll, as Reno Riggins would say, roll the dice.
Yeah.
So uh, uh, another guy comes up and he goes, "Yeah, wait a minute." So I'm standing there and feeling like, all right, they're wise to me. They've actually gone to go get security come throw me out, right? So I'm dug in at this point. I'm not leaving,
Yeah.
uh, you know. And this one guy comes up to me and he says, "Yeah, can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm here to talk to Vincent McMahon about getting a job." He said, "Well, he's busy right now. Maybe I can help you." He goes, "What do you do?" And I said, I wrestle. I was insulted. He asked me, what do you do? And I said, well, I wrestle. He said, oh, you do? He said, how long you been wrestling? Of course, I fudged on that a little bit. I said, oh, I've been wrestling about 2.5 years. And he said, oh, really? He said, well, who trained you? And I says, Tojo Yamamoto. Well, right before he asked who trained me, he's looking around like, okay, where's security at? Let me get this clown out of here. Right. But when I told him Tojo Yamamoto, that was like, and he told me this later.
Yeah.
He said, he told me he was getting ready to run. The guy's name was Terry Garvin. He was the vice president of Titan Sports at the time. He was getting ready to run me out of there. He told me this, but he said, when I mentioned the name Tojo Yamamoto, he said, that was the equivalent of you coming in to a law firm, you know, auditioning for a job, and you just walked in with a Harvard law degree. He said, at that point, we couldn't run you out. We had to at least see what you could do just off that alone. So he said, can you be in Bristol, Tennessee tomorrow night? I said, I sure can. So I pack up, you know, I called my best friend, Chip Carroll. Chip wasn't working at the time. I says, Chip, we're going to Bristol tomorrow night. I'm going to wrestle for WWF. So he was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. So we get in the car. We drive to Bristol, Tennessee the next day. We get there at about 2:00. We see Terry Garvin. He says, yeah, look, he says, everybody's eating. Go in there, get you something to eat. Go to the gym, work out, come back, be here about 5:00. At 6:00, we'll set you up with your opponent and we'll go from there. I said, awesome. So I do all that. 6:00 rolls around. They send somebody for me. I go up there and he says, hey, we're going to have you working with Ray Hernandez tonight, Hercules Hernandez. So this is in Bristol, Tennessee at Viking Hall. So they take me in this little room. They introduce me to Ray, and he's being managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. So
iconic managers of all time.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look starstruck. I'm trying to look cool, but I'm not doing a good job. I'm just, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And so they tell me everything will be fine. We'll be after just a few minutes, you know. And so I'm pumped. I'm excited, but I've got like an hour and a half, 2 hours before this happens. So you just want to talk about just the nervous energy that goes through your body. Because here you were, you know, 24 hours ago on the outside looking in. It's kind of like if you're sitting in the front row of an NFL game and then the next day you're the quarterback of a team. It was awesome. And so I had I'm at the gorilla position. And to tell some of your listeners what the gorilla position is, the legendary wrestler, broadcaster, producer, Gorilla Monsoon, he sat there behind the curtain with a monitor and he kept the time on the matches. So we called that the gorilla position. So they said, you know, he sends you to the ring, and I'm looking up, you know, and he's in this old grizzled veteran, and he goes, all right, kid, go to the ring, you know. So I go to the ring and I'm standing out there, and as most people I'd ever been in front of in my life, and I'm standing out there and I'm wearing trunks. And for the first time in my whole entire life, being in a wrestling ring, I felt naked. It was the weirdest feeling. Just standing out there going, I don't have enough clothes on out here. So then about that time, curtain gets pulled back, and here comes Hercules Hernandez. Spotlight hits him, and he's coming through the curtain, and man, he's pumped up. Blood, you can see the blood coming through his veins, and sweat's glistening off his body, and he's got foam coming out of his mouth, and got these big chains. And I'm standing there looking at him. It looks like he's about a football field away from me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm sitting here thinking, this is the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. And I'm looking around and there's nowhere to run. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to do it now, right? So he comes to the ring and he proceeds to just beat the ever-loving tar out of me.
Oh no.
I'd been in better street fights. I mean, it was rough. And so finally he puts me in the torture rack. Match is over with. They roll me out of the ring, you know. And I mean, so the referee helps me back to the back, you know, sets me on a stool and doesn't say really anything to me. And I'm sitting there. I felt like I'd been violated. It was horrible. And so I've got like Matt Burns on the side of my head. I'm kind of still kind of goofy because he hit me with the clothesline. I hit the back of my head on the mat. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm on like, I was a little punch drunk there, So
Sure.
I'm sitting back there and I'm just trying to, get myself together. Then about that time, he comes back with Bobby Heenan, and they both come over there and thank me for the match. And Ray looks at me, he says, "Kid, if you can take a beating like that, they've got to hire you." He says, "Good luck to you."